来去见俺不吧，所现家呀，困见俺妈呀吧，谢谢兄弟。göğe mayen dayan da Tedaya sasuya Ade kobaya so Lavlai jaya Chelaya nebe Nyame dogaya Aya moya gai jela Soy wande soy gai jela Aya moya nam Göya bayan zenoy Nayan daray shingelo Sheloy gongye Bayan bayan gongye Zenoy Shai me baya nam sende dai hebe onjela Nyengaya shebaya me bara shengelo Nyengaya ngorge goya ora goya baye Mengaya de goya yebe la maya la yondo zoya maya debe wongela yebe goya Gevara Eme Gorge Meshe Soyamaike Kaya Dobe Oya Oya Somayende Ahayende Garay Jobe Gonchela Goyam Zaya Shingelo Nam Doye Moya Woy Shiguraya Sombai Shin Cheya Maye Cheya Chawaya Mahayangaya Rabara Sharabe Mojela Gorede Yeme Toya Bara Chingelo Yewayan Goedoy Yayandaya Mayadam Kane Ye Vaya Laya Joy Tadaya Laya Yenderan Dorje Sangye Koyama Nyara Dorjo Dharmachakra Sangye Lama Mark Sangye Chuna Sangye Bardo Dane Yazoi Tage Jinsoi Gibe Sonam Doloi Benjir Sangye Doloi Joe Sangye Juna Soge Jono Sangye Bardo Dane Yazoi Tage Jinsoi Gibe Sonam Doloi Benjir Sangye Doloi Joe Sangye Juna Soge Jono Sangye Bardo Dane Yazoi Tage Jinsoi Gibe Sonam Dola Benja Sangye Kobara Yo Simjin Tamje Dewa Na Deve Yodan Damara Yorje Kamana Damaye Yodan Dawara Yorje Damara Meben Dewa Dambana Mendawara Yorje Nere Shada Yenan Tabe Tanya Jambala Nebora Yorje Simjin Tamje Dewa Na Deve Yodan Damara Yorje Damana Damare Yodan Dawara Yorje Damara Meben Dewa Dambana Mendawara Yorje Nere Shada Yenan Tabe Tanya Jambala Nebora Yorje Simjin Tamje Dewa Na Deve Yodan Damara Yorje Dumanda Dumarije Yodan Damara Yorje Damara Mebe Dawa Dambana Mendawara Yorje Nere Shada Yedan Tabe Tanyam Jambala Nebora Yorje Chansa Wada Jeje Yabana Jesa Yana Moshe Sawayi Kawa Jose Dage Jesa Tamje Dage Shanje Shemo
Hāpye tu je shāche rī gōng chōng wē shīngyē mē tō tī kē gōng yōng sēr kē lūmbā tāpū rā jē bē kā wē shācā jē bē yāp lā chā kē shē jē kā lā tēn rā tēn gō rā jē jē bē dōng tē jē nīng lā bē chē lē tēn bā gō nē tō kē tā jē lūmbā chē lā chā kē Tera Gendo Tije Tanyele Tage Dome Chage Chanjo Nimbe Lambe Parma Ba Nije Debe Je Dodo Menjuge Inge Borando De Zanje Binge Mai Rangen Je Warangan Zan Dende Ma Tawe Lame Shala De Taga Joe Lona Chodo 다 다른 시기들은 데veloping 정말로 되는 자시들이죠.
Trashidele everyone who are joining this evening teaching program.
얘네 다른 게 주제들은 되는 다 선함게 초사고 여기 여기 보려니.
And as you know, the topic for our teaching tonight is accumulating merit.
얘네 다 지금 상식이 되는 되는데 총 마살라 우주네 제마들이 말미 좀 세상에 얘네 되는 총 마살라 우주네 우주스들이 다르지 다 되게 비요 얘네 베르나 놈 기대바체네 제마 얘네 더 가서 들으셔봐야지 얘네 놈 태야에 얘는 처음 마사발라 대보다 기보도 미하고 연다에 와잖아. 얘네 제마들이 말 놈을 와잖아.
It is said in Sutra by Buddha that there is no siddhi without accumulating merit, and you can never get oil by pressing the sand. So what it means here is siddhi here is our worldly happiness and pleasure. So even just to have this temporary happiness and pleasure in our world, we must have accumulated some merit. Because if there's no cause of our pleasure, then there's no result. That's what it means. Without accumulating merit, there is no siddhi. Or siddhi is Sanskrit word. You can also say accomplishment, but here actually means the happiness, comfort, and joy, and so forth. An example given him is if you would like to have some oil, and if you try to get oil from sand, sand, S-A-N-D, okay, just to, to let you know, you will never get oil out of sand, just like that. Without accumulated merit, there is no way that we can get the result that we want.
이야기 대바이벤데 되네. 단도 용거를 주 저거 있는데 용용직스나 주 용용직스나 놈용용직스나요. 주 망사직스나 얘는 놈 망잠직 저변이 생각이요. 예나신 되네. 대기기 방사 수행하는 데는 계획이 소남기 되네. 총종 대상과 대당 준비기 제보 총종지 소남기 전부지 상과 대당 준비기 소남기 전부지 되네.
So now we know we will never get oil out of sand. So if we really want some oil, we have to get the right things such as like mustard seed or sesame seed. And then again, how much you want the oil depends on how much the seed you have. If you like to have a big amount of the oil, then you have to have big amount of sesame seed or mustard. And same thing here. If you like to have a big pleasure, bliss, big happiness, and so forth, then you have to accumulate a lot of merit. Just by accumulating little merit, if you expect a big result, then that's again impossible. Therefore, if you really want to have a big happiness, joy, so forth, then we have to have accumulate the merit a lot.
네, 소남기 촉사야라. 네, 소남기 촉사야기. 네, 람도 보스네. 소남기 촉사야기 고도 보스네. 네, 소남기 촉사야기 보고. 네, 망보 시기가 말해. 네, 이나야 망보 시기에 배나오네. 네, 다 지금 투문게 되서도. 네, 연락 등기 보내. 네, 소남기 촉사야.
So now if you ask, what is the method of accumulating merit? And then answer is, the various method has been taught by Lord Buddha, but nevertheless, if we summarize, then in common tradition, what we call the seven branch prayer or seven branches is the most profound way of accumulating merit.
되네 말아도 하고 상고 주비게 말람기 제고 대나신게 말람 망치고게 골라 되네 연락 좀 샤되게 되네 대가르나 소남기 당보 소남기 원도 전화 되네 말람 강가 바탐제 주비게 토동이 뭐 예스는 숨이 되네 말람 되게 골라 And
that is the reason why most of the aspirational prayer, such as the Arya Bhadracharya Tani or the aspiration prayer of the excellent conduct or king of aspiration, is preceded by the seven branch prayer first. So most of the aspiration prayer are written in that way. The reason is, if you have the enough accumulated merit, then whatever prayer you make will be accomplished. That's the reason why most of the aspiration prayer, such as Arya Bhadracharya Tani, or the aspiration prayer for excellent conduct are preceded by the seven rich prayer first. Then the actual prayer began after that.
Dene deyendang, dene sonam ge chok sakwa la yin, dene tangbo chok sakwa di yul kebar chen sel dabgo de. Deyendang, dene hawa sangwa jiwa na jinye suda chojo iji deyendang, tuzum sheba mi tengi gun dene. Jinye fedu da chok dang yul du jinye ban 수다 그다 강사 대나 쇼바 상제 수당 수인의 쇼바였나요 장저선바 수당 수쇼바였나요 강답 다차 소남기 신 쇼도 준비 신 대서 탐제 되네 다 수당 수 초강당 강의 수바 대다 탐제 초이진 두섬셔바 미에딩이든 다게 말에 대다 탐제라 리당 아예 당의 차기요 됐다 그래서 자비를 대다 탐제라더니 당방의 차세계 대지날 네 차들에게 방 선남기 처사에게 신당 대내 말이 마신도 처바도 와라서 되네 디바샤발라서 되게 율도 흉내 되네 방법되네 흉내 되네 쇼로치즈 테로치 슈페니 쇼로치즈 다 소원 메람다가 다 미베데로지 공데서가
When we say seven branch prayers, then first of all we have to have a perfect object to whom we are making the prostration, or to whom we are doing the offering, or to whom we are expressing our downfall and confessing and so forth. For example, the aspiration for the excellent conduct, it says, with body, speech, and mind, I pay homage to all those lions of humanity, as many as there are, without exception, who arise in the worlds of 10 direction and 3 times. That's how it started, the aspiration prayer for the excellent conduct. So this is actually, we are asking all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 10 directions and 2 times to be our object of our 7 branch prayers, such as the prostration, making offering, and confession, and so forth.
네네 다 차들에게 전에 선ам 소사고 관계되거든요. 류가 예수 그베기 관계된 선am이 소사 류그베 차들로 나 그베 타네다 차들에게 책 세제되던 바테텔라다 나 그베 차들 네, 뉴네 저번에 포드 엄지비 좀 차서서 돼야되다 마크비게 차. 얘네 이 그비기 차가 다이 그비기 차게 가려면 얘네 자비를 대답 등게 남아 쉬고 자비를 캐는 다 뒤에는 저 보상식이 뭐 저기 받도록 얘네 걸어가던 연속에 내일 타로 걸어가던 연속에 내일 좀 마동바 타로바도 탐지기메 보통 중요도 더가 제게 태남바 캔게 계란남바기 투제시 그렇지 되니 담미바 대바 메바 제지도 깨야되다 이급이 찾게.
So when we say, with body, speech, and mind, I pay homage to those lions of humanity. So with body means with the actual physical prostration we do when we do this 7 branch prayer or practices. And then actually it is showing that we are paying homage or doing with the respectful of body, speech, mind. So this is the physical way of being respectful, to do the physical prostration. And the respect with our speech is to recite whatever prayer we are doing at that time. That goes with the prostration. So that is the respectful way of speech. And mind is to visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas of 3 times and the 10 directions right in front of us, and asking them with a sincere devotion, saying that from now on until I become enlightened being, please protect me from the suffering of lower realms and also suffering of whole entire samsara, and please help me to get the liberation, the Buddhahood. That's what we have to think in mind, and that's how the mental respectful means. So this is what it means when it says, with body, speech, and mind, I pay homage to all those lines of humanity.
다 차기 쇼라 되지기 되비 년지기 거네 되바 이로도 리당아이도 저게 상바주베 만한도도 이제라도 이기는 신내들이 누가 되바 이제라 분나로 유지되는 늘리 상예는 상예되게 있는 쇼가 열심히 있는 물에다 다 제라도 밀라 상바주베 제라군은 다 강자를 디나라 퇴직 년지지요래 다 퇴바 년지 되게 되는 영어 쓰는 게 속안에서 그래도 나랑도 되네 지상 그런데 미치기도 있는 되네요 처럼 되네 미배 여보게 미처럼 미 상보를 되네 퇴바 퇴직 전화 미비 랑신기 미비 줄라 가와지 심 대보던 기보던 거거지래고 대노신 얘네 상제당 전제 선바도做了 对自己 년직 주발라 때문에 얘네 양 쓰는 게 초사요.
And then next line it says, through the power of this aspiration to excellent conduct, may I see in my mind all the victors and bow to them with as many bodies as there are particles in all realms. On each particles, I imagine as many Buddhas as there are particles surrounded by Bodhisattvas. In that way, I imagine the Dharma Dhatu totally filled with victors, with all the sound of inexhaustible ocean of song I fully express. The qualities of all the victors I praise all Sugatas. So, and this is a special way or method of accumulating merit by pleasing them. For example, if I give you our worldly mundane example, for example, if you praise someone, saying all the good qualities, good things about that person in front of him or her, that will give him or her a special joy in her or his mind. Exactly the same way, by expressing the qualities of Buddhas, and then we will be pleasing the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and that will make us accumulate merit.
네, 숨바데 니바데 다 최비기 번에 선함기 저서 말이 쳐바고 쳐발라다 지당 너서 절비 쳐바도 이게 둘비 쳐바 됩니다. 남다니 둘비 샤르 다 너서 절비 쳐바데 말은 내도 그 저거 최메죠 뭐서 들려야 돼. 너서 절비 쳐바 내내 다시 되지 제세 나딘 해서다 이게 뚫는 거야. 이게 뚫려서 이나jen 얘네 땡이 하려고 비 얘네 뭐가 상대들이 올려려고 비 뭐가 나고라서 ben 선배들이 뒤서 얘네 다 로이랑이 다 뚫네 그거 되서 얘네
And out of 7 branches, the first one is the branch of prostration or paying homage. And second is making offering. Second is making offering. And when we say making offerings, there are two types of making offering. One is we say the actual offerings, and then other one is called there are different translation in English. So many people say imagined offerings, or some people also say mentally emanated offerings. But whatever, just of making offering by your mind. And then actual offering means whatever you got, like incense, flower, food, cookies, whatever you have. That's what the actual offering is. And then imagined offering is, then you can think of all the good things of the human realm, God's realm, Naga's realm, so forth. Like wish fulfilling gems, and also this all precious things of the human God's realm and Naga's realm. So, and then also we have what we call the 8 auspicious substances, 8 auspicious sign, and 7 royalties, 7 articles of royalties, and so forth. And this is what we call the imagine offering. Even we don't have them, we can just think our mind and then imagine, and we think making them offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So basically, in the offering, there's 2 things. One is called actual offering, and second one is called imagined offerings.
ene cheba pye di tu yang da ngo su jor be cheba ko yi ge tu be cheba pa le yin no yin ngarang zo sa ma lo ba de cheba pye ngarang zo la pen ma do ba de cheba pye de de ma yin ba ene me do tam ba chengwa tam ba de bi ge ta re la ge sma da ngarang la yi be ge ngo ba tam ji ge ni ya xue sang xue le xue ine de na jin da 간서 로이 주비죠 바이네다 최바 최비기 제제니 약시 장시 위다시 얘네 메도 담바지 메도 나오니 약시 청와 담바지 청와 나오니 약시 그가 장와 주 약과 얘는 되나지 얘네 간서 다른 강당 강부에 있는 장마 얘네 부위다바다 주 레바 당 거바 레바 되네 장면
And this branch, the offering part in the text, in this the aspiration for the excellent conduct, it says, I offer those victors sacred flowers, sacred garlands. So what it says, when it says sacred, no secret, it's sacred. And I just want to make sure you understand my pronunciation. S-A-C-R-E-D, sacred. Okay. So in Tibetan we say Tamba. So what it shows is that sometimes people think that whatever you don't want to eat, then you say, okay, maybe we make it for offering, like for smoke or like that. If we do that, then that's not sacred, not Dhamma. That means you don't like, that's how you are just using. Actually, we have when we say the actual offering, then we have to make the offering the best thing that we have, that we love the best. That's what it means. In short, when you say sacred, it means the best offering, like best flower, best incense, the best mala, and so forth. And then the imagine offering, then you can imagine easily, the best, no problem. But the actual, sometimes we cannot let go the good one. Then we're offering so like that. If we do that, then we also get only little merit, not really a good merit. So in this, from there, we have to make the offering the best thing that we can offer. Offered. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, effort. That's all.
nesumba digwa shawige na digwa shawige 당하랑도 동el 강el 미데바 다 미데신도 되는 동el 강의 망보지 태대바다 망보지 용되게요. 이 영화지 그 방라 때문에 용되거든요. 개왕만 말하더니 Diva Miki Willie, Sabala, Dina, Edawe, Midi Bigi, Tangil Dong, Dumil Kamji, Tisupa Mevasaya, Selagi, Chitula Tapsila, and Diva.
And then third branch is called the confession. To confess, okay? Confession. Then the reason why we have to do confession is because whatever unwanted things that we are going through, like suffering or misery, these are all result of our own action, our own negative action that we ourselves have accumulated in the many previous lives. So without working with the causes, we cannot stop the result coming. Therefore, we have to confess and purify those negative karma that we have accumulated in many previous lives, that is producing suffering and misery to us. That's the reason why we have to make the confession.
다 본다 주변에 얘기네 이거 샤바디 선남기 초사비기 통소도 반대로 가래진도 좋지야 차기래 나다 준전들이 얘네 선남기 초사해야지 대기 다 동일 강일 미중에 지당 대기 중에기 제도 선남기 초사 이인들이 이 동일 강일기 주 이거든지 되게 밤에 봤으니 이 제보 두면 좀 이게 어디 내가 맞으면 제보 두면 좀 내가 써도 돼요. 그래. 되네 이 제보 두면 내가 써야지 발라더니 주 이거 이게 내가 써. 이 친구는 샤버디 손을 쳐서 이게
So you may wonder how we can include the confession in accumulated merit. Then the answer is, as I said earlier, the only reason why we want to accumulate merit is to have a good result, which is joy, comfort, and happiness. And that's the reason. Then, without being free from suffering and misery, there's no way that we can be happy and joyful. And then, without working or stopping the causes of suffering and misery, and there's no way we can be separate from the suffering. That's the reason why we have to do the confession, so we can purify the negativities that is producing suffering on us. Then when we don't have this suffering, then we will have happiness and joyful. And this is the reason why the confession is also including in the part of accumulated merit.
얘네 시바 제수 이랑 위엔라고 얘네 제수 이랑 위엔라고 근데 자라라 최와 얘네 주 가서 땅 망고가 두치 망고 땅 망고가 얘네 개부 대부 선생님이 쪽 자체 뭐 상주에 같이 있네 제수 이랑 게 어디 차게.
And then out of the 7 branches, the 4th is rejoicing in others' happiness or merit and so forth. And this is a very special way of accumulating merit without making too much effort, without spending anything and so forth. So this is a very special way of accumulating merit, rejoicing. And this is the 4th one.
얘네가 상제 셰슈베게 갑라네 제버 셀젤기 되네 상제 등 딘딘 코당 제버 자주마 동타동타 된데네 된데슈니 셰라피데 셰라피데 되네 되나 아마게모 페 울모 사주메 통주메 이게 아마게모 지 이게 되네
계속 야고 살제 대한 야고 좀 기타나 계속 지디 계속 뒷 년인데
얘네 당소 아마게모디 얘네 페 제보 설진기 얘네 상제 저좀 먹거든 제발 텐데션에 시라피와 될라더니 mo pe mesi bi jesu yera jebo di de ke wa nge ma na ya sono ge cho sa ba la te me ta da de mi jebo de de ta no ya de ge sono ge cho sa ne ma on ba na ya de le ha ge cho ya de ge kal ba sam ba tu sam ne de jebo de la jesu yera jebo amen 얘네 제소 얘랑 얘네 다 상제 셀라 피자 뭐 남데 얘네 상제기 대링모 제보처럼 랑고래다 제보처럼래 얘네 계획다 자체 뭐 계와 자체와 통근지 될라 뭐 제보래 되네 상제기 제보라 만드는
So, if I give you one example of how powerful the rejoicing is, then when Buddha was alive, and there was a king of Kosala. His name was Prasenajit. That's his Sanskrit name. And Tibetan name is Gyalpo Salgyal. Gyalpo Salgyal. And then he was a king of Kosala. The Indian Kosala is a place in India. And then he invited Buddha together with his all arhat and follower for a lunch. Then there was a beggar woman lying at the gate of his palace, was very pleased and very happy, and fully rejoicing in the merit of what the king Prasenajit was doing. And she was thinking how wonderful he is doing this job. Because of merit that he accumulated in the previous life, he becomes such a powerful king. Now, again, he's accumulated so much merit by inviting Buddhas together with his followers and offering them lunch. How wonderful like that. Then it was tradition in the Buddha's time when somebody offered a lunch to Sangha, at the end there was always a dedication prayer. When that time comes, then Buddha asked the king, to whom I should dedicate the merit of your lunch that you offer today. 나서 여부터 티레스 나마시아.
되네 제볼라 되네 까 상지기 끝내는데 되네 제보기 다들이 나를 하고 개와토기 간제지는 되네 되네 나를 하고 개와토기는 대롱와 나 제로지니 슈거니 되네 슈드 되네 제마 뭐와 나도 되네 게 아마게 모디기 민비 되네 되네 뭐와 나 뭐와 나 제볼레 되네 개와토가 자체도 토긴데 아마게
And then Buddha actually asked the king Prasenajit, should I dedicate the merit of your lunch for you, or there's someone else who is actually accumulated more merit than you through your job, your this offering? Then the king said to Buddha, then please dedicate to that person who is accumulated more merit than me by offering lunch to you by me. Then Buddha actually mentioned the name of that old lady who was a beggar.
얘네 다디 다 제소 이런 게또 얘네 차도 개념 받고 지야 차고서리 얘네 먼저 차도 되는데 얘네 뭐죠 말한게 남도도 이제 처음랑 캔자적으로 지금 중에서 차도 되는
So the reason why she was accumulated more merit than the king who actually was making the offering of lunch offering to Buddhas and all his followers. Then Buddha said, because she was rejoicing from the depth of her mind in your merit. That's why she's actually accumulated more merit. So that's the power of rejoicing in other people's wholesome activities. And not only that, and also if you really can rejoice sincerely in other people's happiness and prosperity, that becomes the best antidote or remedy for jealous mind, jealousy, for jealousy. And then I have a very special experience of being rejoicing, being a very powerful antidote for jealousy.
얘네 서른아홉에 간데 정성에서 나랑 예 다 나랑 가서 나랑 예 아저비 종이다 배저 얘네 방도 다 지금 얘기 놓으지는 든지 된데니까 저거 저거도 다 강도 지도지 되는데 얘네 다 걸라 뭐다 다 개와 제말라 되네 야고치 영향이 뭐다 말하면 저거다 강도 지도지 되고
So if I share my experience in this part, then recently you may or you may not know that I lost my sister who was very dear to me, who was like my mother. So I went back to Bhutan. Then according to the tradition, we do every week. 합달지 최선지에 합달을
야
합달을 둔달을 소발
예.
레레 서로
예.
니마 따보세요 뭐라. So
진짜 숨바 발도 니마 따고
So until 7 weeks or until 49 days, we have tradition of doing puja. If you can afford, then we should do every day. If not, then every week, once every week. So I did every day for 3 weeks. Then from the 4th week, we did once every week the puja.
얘네 나랑 근데 다 상로도 대가 더 상로도 버든데 되니까 그래서 나랑도 단다 나랑 저기 분자지 인방어 시기를 통계를 될라 때문에 거기와 제마되네 여보지 여보지 영어 쇼 되네 나랑 저기 지도 감독지 되네 다 뭐하면 저기 다들 삼로당 니 여보지는 다 마음 발라 이 방도다 거기와디 나랑 저기 진바당 초바조 남자 뭐 잡네 거기와 여보지는 다디 다 김정 신다 지금 개와는 이 나랑 거기 개와 인다디 나랑 정말 메시 하마고 당하랑 저기 강조 거 야고지 개와 제마 야고 영어 쇼스네 속바도 뭐 말람자 주 뭐뭐 땅 되는 땅에 거 디나 개와 야고지 렌다 다 소리기 전에 야 야고지 여바지 연된 라소비 돈에 제나야 야고지 여바지 전황 가리기 돈에 있나야 야고지 여바지 개와는데 다디 개와디 나랑 김mel람 담이 개와인데 하마고 디파게 야고지게 되네 디라 되네 차도고 다 나를 콜 하고 저거도 나를 콜 강조다 야도 저거도 되네 차도게 돼 다디 나랑게 주당 mellam 뭐 mellam 잡베기 강조 제부 데라 나랑게 차도게 되네 망보지 용되게 요거저거지 손나기 중간.
So I had a strange feeling in world or in samsara. Many things happen is this way. For example, when I did puja for my sister who just passed away, then of course every time we do puja, we always pray for her to have a good rebirth and with good health, good wealth, whatever, everything perfect and so forth. Then if she is become human being again somewhere nearby where we can meet again, but we don't know that is the reincarnation of my sister or my relative to whom we pray for a good birth. And then actually she had a good birth because of our prayer and our effort, and also we spend so much wealth for her to perform all these rituals, and then she become a good person. Then if you don't know she is the reincarnation of the person that you are praying for, then if you become jealous of that person, then it is very strange. first you pray for her to be a good person, then when that become a good person, then you feel jealous of that. And that is very possible to happen in samsara. So it's very strange thing.
the child of the rangi chebegi rangi child of
So sometimes, we will feel jealous of the result of our own action. For example, is that I just said. Therefore, we should always be careful not to be jealous person.
최기 걸어 꿀네 선남게 초서 얘네 다 최기 걸어 꿀래 얘네 지딩이 감 장매반 인장 얘네 지딩이 감 가시는 데니 상제되고 폐니 슈게다 지딩이 감 가시는 상제되고 얘네 냥엘레 대레니 지딩이 감 가시는 상제 그동안 말도 와 상제는 최기 걸로 막어라 슈기다 대답을 때문에 이런 당은 الهيوان بجزين دان لا تنبا بيدوغي ينه چوغي كولو كوني تني سانجي جمدن دان كولو شوني ين سانجي دي جمدن دي ورانا دي چوغي كولو دي جبو ناران چوغي ينه سانجي ني چوغي كولو مابورا شوغي سانجي دي ناجن لاما كيوي شين چوغي مازونبا يودن تامجلا تني چوغي كولو كولو so on them down in a son so
And then the fifth one is requesting Buddhas and Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma. And what that means is the universe or the universe is countless. There are countless universe or countless world. And in some world, that Buddha who just become Buddha and has not turned the wheel of Dharma yet. And then they need to be requested. For example, our Shakyamuni Buddha, when he became enlightened being, he did not teach Dharma right away for a few weeks, actually. And then at the request of the Brahma and Indra, then finally he turned the Dharma, which means he turned the wheel of Dharma, which means he taught. In the same way, we should think in the universe, the infinite universe, wherever there are Buddha who has not been teaching yet, I'm requesting them to teach for the benefit of all sentient beings. And this is how we again accumulate merit by requesting Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma. And this is the fifth.
다음 알아서게 추기 걸로 솔한테 발라 때문에 추기 걸로 와라 때문에 얘네 샘젠 장매 바지라 가데지라 펜도게 디기 쓰는 게 되어야 되는 굉장히 저게.
So by we request them, then they will turn the wheel of Dharma, and by turning the wheel of Dharma, then it will benefit countless sentient beings. And of course, that will cause us to accumulate lots of merit.
얘네 dimba 냥엘레 믿어 와서 냥엘레 믿어 와서 왔는데 봐 대양 되네 상제 대나신 장주 선바대도 있네 대나신 라마 기회신님도 다 양엘레 대른 이유 바대설에 되니 양엘레 믿어와 슈로치 되네도 소원다.
And the sixth is requesting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas not to pass into parinirvana. So again, we have to think that there could be many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are ready to pass into parinirvana, then we request them not to pass into parinirvana, but live long for the benefit of all sentient beings.
얘네 냐래 메다와서 안데 발라 때네 마란소게 되네 세줍죠. 다디 주든게 되게 마란소야 되는 세린도 차야 그래서 주든게 되게 차야.
And then by requesting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas not to pass into parinirvana, that actually causes our own long or life long. That actually causes our life prolong our lifespan, and that is called the result similar to cause. Because when we talk about the karma, the cause and effect, there are many different kind of results, and then one of them is called the result similar to cause. And this is something like that. By requesting the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas not to pass into parinirvana, that will actually cause prolong our life, our own life span longer.
얘네 dimbango 알아? dimbango 다 네 공도 차들과 초밥으로 디바샤바 소 양엘레미데 와서 저기 콜로콜로 소한테 베기 라테네 개와 사바 개와 주바 탐지 되네 내가 연성 거와다 연성 내내에 담이 토리 함에 대와 양다바도 살도 상제기 거원 토베기 제도 되는 거 아무런 여자바들 되는 뭐 이게 저는 저지.
And then seventh branch is the dedication, the last one. And then how we dedicate is whatever merit we have accumulated through prostration, making offering, and making the confession, and then rejoicing, and requesting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to turn the wheel of Dharma, and requesting them not to pass in nirvana. Whatever merit we have accumulated through the previous 6 branches, then we dedicate that merit for the benefit of all sentient beings, and they're praying that they may be free temporarily from the lower realm and achieve the state of higher realm, and then ultimately may they be free completely from samsara and achieve the liberation. And this is what we call the dedication, the 7th branch.
얘는 뭐 어디 양손한 게 침보지 있어요. 그 말을 차기로 되는 뭐에게 제일 맞나? 얘네 공도 그냥 돌래 아래송도 되나 지들 점서치는 추티공 점서 맛에 받을 때면 대신 장주 용의 개와 양 장주 마도 받을 때면 되는 당하란솔라 추티바지 예바디 치로라 샤나 얘네 까마카시기 너 감도게 세토요래 이 추티바디 점선하는 루샤나 점서 마게 말도 추티바디 때문에 감면메바 세야메바 에디나신 아랑도 개와 두바 탐지 자체와 충와 관계지 두바 있네요. 뭐에 제 맞나? 근데 시당 컨트롤이 되더니 이 개회자와 되세 양나 제고 총용지 민미 세 얘네 저저거예요. 근데 상지 고방 토베이 치도 뭐에 샤바 있나 상지 고방 뭐 되게 봐도 개회자와 자체와 충와 관계 두바 있네. 얘네 세바 메바 내가 그 제본 세바 메바 민주유 바 타도 상제기 고방 마도게 바도네 되네 동네 동네도 중에 이 제보 타투기 제보 상제 고방 토에 차지 대동 얘네 선남도서 그냥 다 첨보도 제시도. And
then out of 7 branches, actually the dedication branch is very important, very powerful, and then it will make our merit inexhaustible, unfinished one. For example, the example that is given by Buddha in Sutra is, he says, if you have a drop of water and then if you just keep drop of water on your table, it can get dry anytime. But if you pour that drop of water in ocean, then it becomes one with the ocean. You can separate which is the drop of water that you pour in the ocean. That means your drop of water become one with the ocean, the great ocean. Then as long as great ocean is there, your drop of water is still there. For example, and then like that, whatever meritorious action you do, if you dedicate that merit for the benefit of all sentient beings and for the enlightenment, then until you really become an enlightened being, you achieve the Buddha state of Buddha, that merit is always there. It become inexhaustible. If not, if you don't do the dedication prayer, then of course when you do some accumulation of merit, you will get a result. But when you get that result, that little tiny result, then the accumulation merit is already finished, done. No, no more there. And also, if you don't do the dedication, we actually say you seal with the dedication. You seal. If you don't seal with the dedication, with your merit, then it could be destroyed just by a thought of anger, a moment of anger. If a strong anger arises in your mind, then whatever merit you have accumulated could be destroyed very easily if it has not been dedicated for the benefit of all sentient beings. Therefore, it is very important for us to dedicate the merit for benefit of all sentient beings, and then ultimately to achieve the Buddhahood. Then your merit will never exhaust it.
나 지창게 되네 야간가 투모에게 되네 소남게 쳐서 내가 나쁜다 되네 또 샤이를
So when we talk about the 7 branches, this is actually we said the teaching of common yanas teaching.
되네 미세게 다 계획에 다와데 되네 나는도 대면 나오네 좀나 동성지된 미제지다 림버체 강진바 진바we 여방매베 생각대와 진퇴니 대대대 매처지네 데니 대회서는 쳐봤습니다. 되네 동성이 미지게 동성이 동심의 지딩이 감디 되네 강도 림버체 나든기 강내 풀 미치게 되네 밤에게 텐당 대화진의 신감기 배연기 퇴네 내라 되네 대밤에게 제지도기네 라바 테마저 잠제바 있네요 이 되네 선함기 속에 나말레 되네 동성의 동심도 강내 최바 표현에 되네 선함기 속에 체계를 되네 대송도 처음에 되면 나오네 다 되는데 얘네 소남기 초사수기 람 신다를 듣거든요. 동성진이 전통이 리버치를 정하죠.
나 너희 북한이 하나 그대로 무슨 다시 가서요. 다시 그러면
차트는 이제 보면은 차트.
이는 동순진의 남장천진진. So, as I said, accumulated merit through 7 branches is the teaching of common yanas, but also we have, like in Mahayanas, many different ways of accumulating merit. One example is Chame Rinpoche said in his Sukhavati prayers. Let me read the translation. It says, "It has been taught that it is greater merit to join one's palms in faith upon hearing the names of Amitabha and Sukhavati than to offer jewels that fill uncountable threefold billions world. Therefore, I respectfully prostrate to Amitabha." So, for example, when we say threefold, 1 billion word, we say Tongsum. If you make an offering of 1 billion word filled with all different jewels to Buddha's Bodhisattvas. Actually, if you just have a uncontrolled devotion in your mind and put your hand together, this is what the Anjali Mudra is like that, and then you pray to Buddha. And that will make more merit. That's what the Shaman Rinpoche said. So this is a very special way of accumulating merit.
Tene yang dorje choba nane tene ganzo sangye chamden de ta rabjor ni tene diwa telen de sangye chamden de ge gare sungu na chumo gangge ge jeme ge tang meji ge chumo gangge ge jeme ge tang dang nyambe ge tene lu tunne tene chokju de sungu sangye de sola Nima relation la choba puna I sunam ki chok chembo rebe kune rabjol la kana rabjol tizi ene rabjol ki di chem bemze ki sunam chembo re kune sanje la tengesho.
So to give you another example again, there was a bhikshu called Subudhi, or in Tibetan we say Ramjor. So Buddha and Ramjor or Subudhi. Subudhi is Sanskrit name, Tibetan name is Ramjor. And then Buddha asked Subudhi, if someone Sumo Kangaji Chime Tangni Lutuneva, so the Buddha's question to Subudhi was, he said to Subudhi, if someone who emanated his or her own body, as many as there are sand in the river Ganges, and make offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, is that a good way of doing, a great way of accumulating merit? And then Subudhi says, yes.
Tene sanje jamne dele jang tene dorje choba di tene dela deba dam yue jene dele tsik shi zamjik tene lokjong je sheba je di shen la pa sheba je na tene chumo gang jime dang dang nyambe lu tene choba pege ne di tene chajur tongjer di tene sonam ki tsok chege re tene song.
And then actually it was taught in English, it's called Diamond Sutra. In Tibetan, it's in Dorje Chueba. Dorje Chueba actually means the Vajra cutting sutra, but I don't know why in English now it's called Diamond Sutra. Anyway, this is said in the Diamond Sutra. Buddha said to the Subudhi, and then when Subudhi said yes, then Buddha said, even greater merit would be if someone read 4 lines in this sutra and then study that and teach other people the meaning, that would actually accumulate more merit than someone who emanated his or her own body as many as the sand that is in the river Ganges make offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then Buddha says, just to read 4 lines in this sutra and then understand the meaning and teach the meaning to others would make more, accumulate more merit than making offering to Buddhas Bodhisattvas by emanating one's own body as many as sand in the river Ganges. Also.
Yeah, that is Jirdan, that's not get so Chijung get covered.
So that is general talk about the different ways of making the accumulated merit.
나 되네만 전화와서 방송을 다 바로 되지 뭐쭉 지당다 상지기 고방 토발라 되네 장제선 장제선 내게 랍자 탐제 되네 바로 되지 뭐 두개 방송 두개 장제선 내 랍자라다 멤버 생계는 주바 Sangye gelapja ni benane ta chuba sangye gelapja te ina phare je chimbe tu ye khone tu de.
So since we still have some time, few minutes more, I'm going to talk a little more about 6 parameters. So in order for us to become a Buddha or enlightened being, then we have to complete the practices of 6 parameters. That's what he said. And then, of course, that is the practice of Bodhisattva path. And then when again we talk about the Bodhisattva path, there are two different kind of bodhicitta, which are the aspirational bodhicitta and applicational bodhicitta. And then actually the practice of 6 parameters is the practice of the applicational bodhicitta or the action bodhicitta. English language is very difficult because there are so many different translations. So I don't know which is better. Oh, just let me say application and Buddha. This is one type. And then some say like action bodhicitta. That's another one. That's all.
얘네 대한 다 러번 다와다고 우마주변은 미남 대왕 롱제 미밀라 롱제 장니 진리 중기니 두배당 멋진비 담제도 다 미기 대기 이 치라데 되면 다 공도 롱제라 되는 얘네 롱제 대한 주강을 중에 되는 얘네 진바당다 쳐봐도 진바당발라 때문에 롱제대 중에 대체나 또봐 저거 상제 좀 된 얘기 때문에 바로 그 진바중에 당보 통만을 되는 진비게 땅 진비 바로 그 진비게 되는 송비 당마도 송바리
And out of 6 parameters, again, I'm sure you all know parameters, right? And in this different translation of English, some say the perfection, or something like that. Anyway, the parameter is a Sanskrit word, and Tibetan word is parodachimba. I think you all know that. Let's just, because there's no English word that has the equivalent meaning, you know, it's very hard. So let's say parameter. So out of 6 parameters, the first one is the parameter of generosity. And then why Buddha taught that first is Acharya Chantakirti, who is one of the most well-known master of Madhyamika philosophy. He said in his well-known the Madhyamika text, which is called Entering the Middle Path. He said the reason why Buddha taught the generosity first is because the well-being of human being or samsara is wealth. He said, the Chantakirti said, if you are a wealthy person, then you can be a, and then the causes of being wealthy is generosity, because without practicing generosity, then there is no way that you can be a wealthy person. That's why Buddha taught the generous parameter of generosity first, because that is the very cause of to produce wealth to the people in samsara. That's all.
얘네양 다 진박에 당보를 되니 진비 바로서 진비 담 순바인데 얘네 미망보 지기 삼조라 가르지나 단 진바 망보지 당나 디디기요 계위 선남기 촉선에 디디기요 개와선에 디디기요 상계요 얘네 디 진바치부디기 얘네 지기요 말에
So, but people might think that just being generous person is good enough. Then actually is not correct. Just being a generous person is not good enough to become an enlightened being. Just being generous person is not the what we call not the conducive enough condition for being an enlightened being.
대양 다와다고 다르서 나오마지 진배 롱제 당내 정에는 깨어 주름 강반냠내 중 진바지불라 다 강서 로케네 얘네 다 대바이나 얘네 진바디게 롱제기 주직지게요래 마도 정게요래 마도 미일위된 분홍 소바 토백이 주디 치차디요 말이 대인들 다 미일위된 분홍 소바 중요하게 토백라 얘네 주가래도 그러나 추준비 바로 진바 추준비 다 추준비 냠랜도 얘네 같이 추좀 마송바 있나 짐바 되기 때문에 강도 개와 제말라 되니 루라서 베게 롱제 첨보 여바지를 게임마도 예 미일이 담배 쳐주게 미일이든지 저도게 다 단다 루토보다는데 롱제 유나양 쳐주게 뭐가 매버도 되죠 강리 좀 되나 추중기 동반냠바 추중기 마송바가 때문에 이전이죠.
And then the reason why it's not sufficient to be just generous person is, again, the Chantakirti says in same text, which is called the entering to the middle way, is that even you are a very generous person, if you lack, right? Lack, L-A-C-K, lack, if you are lack. Maybe if you are missing the morality or ethical moral, then you will not receive a perfect human birth in the next life. Because being generous will make you only wealthy, but it is not the cost of achieving a perfect human body. If you don't have a perfect human body, then there is no chance for you to practice the Dharma well, he said. And then example is, for example, there are so many Nagas who are very wealthy. And then there could be the result of practicing just generosity, but Nagas are much worse than human beings as long as practicing Dharma is concerned. And they don't have the capability that a human being has to practice the Dharma. Therefore, the Nagas, no matter how wealthy they are, Nagas are never considered to be the right vessel for Dharma practice. And the reason why they don't have right vessel is because they in their previous life they missed practicing the discipline or morality. That's why the Chantakirti said, even you have the generosity, in order for you to have a perfect vessel for Dharma practice, which is human body, then you must practice the second paramita, which is the paramita of discipline or morality.
네, 얘네가 류된 성보디 매매바 세린과 되네 본도 따나도바 숙성과 지 거기요래 말아도 미르된 터발라 얘네 비 영화 치돌라 영화라 얘네 주디 수준다 얘네 따나도바 대신 이도와 영화를 치돌라 서바고 말게 얘네 주 창고고요 어디인데 얘네 제보를 주를 방송 사대바 저거를 뭐 주직이 제보 차상
And then when we say perfect human body, which means a human body with good health and long life, long enough to practice Dharma. So that's that. And then so just by being generous, you don't you can be a wealthy person, even you are born a human being or Nagas or whatever, but it's not guaranteed that you will have a perfect health, perfect life, and so forth. Therefore, it is very important for us to be a healthy person and live long to practice Dharma, and then we will have that condition only by practicing the second paramita, which is the paramita of the discipline. And again, and the third one is the paramita of patience. And the result for being patient or practicing the paramita of patience will cause you to have a very spectacular human existence, very beautiful or handsome or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you, but whoever sees you will your presence will make others happy, and joy, gives joys to just by your presence. And then that is the result of, again, not the discipline, but the result of the practice of the patient paramita of patience. So each we can say by practicing the paramita of generosity, you will have wealth or you will be a wealthy person. And then by practicing the generosity of discipline or moral ethics, ethical morality, then you will have a body with perfect health and long life. And by practicing the paramita of patience, you will have a very beautiful outlook or beautiful looking, whether you are male or female doesn't matter, but whoever sees you will naturally get some joy just by your presence. And this, you can see the different result of different parameters. Also.
Chitang Samden Nang Sherabi, Chitili Debi Lam Tupin Dizola, and Joe Chadi, in a Chitin Balayang, and then Samden Sherabi Chutoki Tango, Karetana, Sem, Netulong Tumba, she was in the never Nego Gayore, and one of the Chitin by in a Dela, and then something about the Chimba, something they Niki combat probably. Yenashin, Gareina, she token, Gareina, ya token, Gareina, ya J token, Ribaji Pogoyore, that Sangye Nipopanto Bigi, share up Mena Yang, and then Jitin Bigi, Todang Lam Lu, Todang Gangina, she took a to Bigi, Ribaji Go, de Ribadilla, de college and Togetana, and they share up Latin token. Then Ganto. Jiginbegi Nana, then me Pinsum of a young was a young boy, then share up in the.
And generally speaking, the paramita of meditation or dhyana, in Sanskrit is dhyana, Tibetan is something. And then in English, you just say meditation. Sometimes they say meditative concentration. I don't really know what's the difference there. And then in Tibetan, we have different words like samden and Tenzin. Usually we use samden, and samden is dhyana in Sanskrit, Tenzin is samadhi. So here we use, even they mean almost same, but the terminology we use is something. So the paramita of dhyana or meditation and wisdom are usually taught to be the practicing the path beyond world, which means to accomplish the Buddhahood and so forth, or Arhathood, whatever. But if, within the world, even from the worldly point of view, we need them also. For example, if you want to have someone, if you want to be someone who is always peaceful, then you have to practice meditation. Even you are still in the samsara, then you, by practicing meditation, you can have a very peaceful, very clear mind, and then you become naturally a peaceful person. And then wisdom here is, even you don't have the wisdom of realizing the selflessness, emptiness, and achieving Buddhahood right away, but even in the world, you need intellectual understanding of everything. And then that's why even though the practice of dhyana or meditation and wisdom are taught to be the path of the beyond world, but we need them into worldly life also. So that's how it works. That's all.
Yang me kashi that's only the song like a dollar. And then me kashi yang Tomba narration, Tutu narration, Sune, Danga Peme in Nadi some name, and Vanzo. Shen Gang Jim Lo Jong Jim Chimba Tang Magova, then young something young Kaji Young Support. Yang Tiki or Mare, Karetana, Chujun Digi, Ludinji Topper Mother, Ludin D. Dingo Long Japanese of already a young to me. Ludin D. Dingo, then Vanzo Tapon Sem she was on the share of penance of a young lady, the young to me. The children not as a Sunni, then Vanzo, as Digi someday, dear Tigi.
And then the paramita of diligence actually is the support of all other 5 parameters. And definition of the Again, just to be diligent is not what we mean here. You can be diligent in the non-virtuous action also. So the definition of the parameter of generosity is it says to take delight in virtuous activities. So to be happy to in the virtuous activities. So as long as you have delight performing the virtuous activities, then that is what we call the parameter of diligence, and that support all other things. Okay. Now, also it could be there could be people who think just by taking one vows and just keep that vows without any violation, right? And then breaking or that's sufficient for me. If you think that way, that is not actually correct. As I said earlier, just keeping your vows perfectly will cause you have a good perfect human birth, but it will not produce wealth for you to practice more generosity and so forth. Therefore, we have to practice all 6 parameters.
네, 두도 멜롱들지 남자나라 디어로 나랑게 되지 나는 대신 미신다 이제 고뉴. 내가 되는 부르는 것이 답라다 거랑이 굉장히 제반이면 제가 이해가 있어요. 두도 멜롱들이 고마. 근데 니마지 부르는 것이 다리 나왕지 남 왕낭네 참말로 되네 다들이 나랑도 되네 마음 발라 되네 롱제 분노 도바 영향이 지게 되네 다른 초월지 그모마인데 초월지 보고 되네 송발이
그럼
아
그럼 무슨
그러면 송데 되네 디 갑라 다 메롱도 디 동마디 다리는 미시 챈네요 되네 공게 당나 가서 지금이 주는 지금의 롱제라 레와 메티네 되네 콩 저거 마고라지네 해송을 했대 되네 디 꾸기와 제말라 되네 디도 멜롱도지 개와시 되네 디 메제비 소아칼레 가고 주 되네 롱기 밀라 대반이 민도 장 멜롱도 지를 시준이 민도 신 따르불라 초준의 민도스는 좀 된제스는
신도 가서
신 따르부 신생인데 담배 제부 주무지요
더부디 다세 기공에 왜 다자
따따따따따
나서
얘네
맞아 더부 신의 같이 하면 되잖아 같이 하면 되잖아
초준의 민도스
최애입니다.
메라가 사전에 세워는 공디 따르신 장장 신이 주고 중에도 처음에 거죠.
원나래도 원나 근데 원나래 원나도 원나 생겨.
원나 말이
tips도 안 따부신나 원나 드셔도.
딜라 따라가세요.
따부신하고 따부신나. 자 따부신하다. 따부신 이제 원나 수있지.
원이다 말이. 제고 서버 추는지요래.
나 양한테 얘기 안 했어. 코로나 시기면도 이런 대범들 하셨는데.
그래.
라서.
그래. 되네 에미세비 되니 그런 두번 토바래. 생리내로 또 서버래 있나요? 저와 갈래서 되는 중.
So if I give you one example, that is also simple. There is one very well-known Mahasiddhi in Nyingma tradition who is called Trupto Melong Dorje. I have never seen his biography by myself, but I heard from oral transmission or oral lineage. It said that one of his previous life was the actual student of Guru Rinpoche when Guru Rinpoche was alive, and then his previous life was with Guru Rinpoche, and then one day Guru Rinpoche said to all his students, "Come together, all of you, and today we will perform a huge, elaborated Dharmachakra to make a good connection for you to have wealth, enough wealth in the future lives." Then, for some reason, this particular student who was the previous life of Tom Melong Dorje said, I have no hope for worldly world. I don't want to join the Dharmachakra. So he did not participate in the Dharmachakra. He said, I don't need any worldly wealth. I have no hope. And then I have no, so he just left. He didn't participate. And then because of that, then when he become as a Trupto Menong Dorje, then actually he was a Mahasiddha, but still, since he has a human body, he has to rely on the human resources. And then he had so much hardship to get enough provision, right? Can I say provision? To eat and to live, right? Provision, okay, okay. Thank you, Anastasia. You are doing the head. Okay. So he had no, and then he even sang. He said, how come these people, the villagers, have no faith in me, and how come I cannot die? You know, if you die, then you don't have to eat, right? So he's not dying. He even, and then also there is one special tree. I don't know that what we saw in English. And then he said this tree never get cooked. You know, he said maybe he tried to cook that tree to eat because he didn't have anything else. And then so it says that he had a very much hardship he had to go through. Even he was the Mahasiddha, he has already realized the ultimate nature of his mind, but still, from the worldly point of view, he had a big problem with his provision, livelihood. Livelihood is okay, right? Livelihood, eating food. Yeah, and then he had that problem because he didn't spend. He didn't. His previous life did not participate in the Dharmachakra that Guru Rinpoche was making a good connection, good tentel. In Tibetan, we say tentel, you know, you might know that word. Try to make a good tentel for them to have enough provision in the future life. And then he just said, I have no hope. I don't need to rely on that. He just left it. So it shows how important it is. Even you are a very good practitioner, still we have to practice the generosity. And this is the example.
어디 되니 말아도 대기 평균 속바 용어야라고 되니 제보 가래 제보를 라 주를 년도 조고 거예요. 비인당 되네 다 바로 되지 마 두게 되네 망나 미드 용나 미드 되네 맞아 나 망용 렘바 상바 지 되네 상지기 정지 선비게 남들 송바를 비인당 되네 말아도 다 바로 이제 침바랑 좀 맞은 거야. 이 침바 쓰면서 맞은 상대 셔라티도 내년에 감도 지도 제디 다 선언기 쪽 마음베기 내당 주야기다 선언기 쪽 도대체 주들
So each parameter has a different result. And without having the cause first, there's no way that we can get the reason. That's why Buddha taught all 6 parameters. And then everything included here in 6 parameters, we don't need more than that, but we need all of them. If we don't practice all of them, then we will not have the enough conducive condition for our practice until we become enlightenment beings. So as being ordinary being, we might not be practice as paramita, them. A paramita has, again, paradu chimba, means going the other shore, something like that. But even we cannot practice in the correct way, but still, it's very important for us to try our best to practice the best way we can, all of them. Generosity, discipline, patience, and then diligence, meditation, and wisdom. Okay, so we are now out of time. It is already 9:36 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I think that's all for now. And then we can do the dedication prayer as usual. Thank you.
Oi, jago ni je ranso karma ba jago tele chedo karma ba jago donzo angor karma ba Ugyen tele shabden so sonam deye tamje sipa nye tomne nye be rana kamje ne kega na shen bala chobai sipe sole chogo nyoro shoi jambala pawo shida kemba konda sambo deyan deshin de tela kunje jeso dabla gyawan deda tamje rabdo mu sangye koso nye be shenla Chenye mi ge de be chen la, gen de me chen de be chen la, chitra ngo wa ma la ru pa ra i sho, tu she le ja ja we chen le ba, karma pa den te be yin po de cho da gu ja chap je jen me, ta pa ra pe pe be tra shi sho. Thank you everyone.
Good night.